like right on the fly.
Okay. So I'll see how.
Do you do a sound check or anything or no?
No, I literally just get it going, and the only thing I keep, again, this is the first time, so I don't know if the screensaver will come on and stuff. Like I put it on to like an hour, but like I know the TV has a thing, so I might just like move the mouse every
so
half
often,
hour,
yeah,
I guess, or I guess depending how long you go in general. But like I said, it's normally black, so I don't know how it's gonna like if it's gonna
Look over here.
Focus in and out or not, but
it's all right.
So you're saying you do a lot of content now for
just the app I'm working on.
What kind of app?
Adaptive Physiques. So I put out my beta testing for all my clients right now. Before I kind
of you smoke.
Yeah, not right now though.
Okay.
Just because like I got to go to the ER right after this.
I thought that might be a good segue to it. But.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, I was gonna bring you a little bit of the stuff I just
know,
grew.
Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to the ER after this, get X-ray. So I'm
like,
I don't know about that.
Do is fucking
go in there all stoned, right?
And it kind of like throws shit off, maybe. But so Adaptive Physique. So do you have an app already?
Yeah, it's already on the App Store.
You use it? Yeah.
Just the only thing right now is like if general public downloads it, like you're stopped right away. You can make an account and it says I won't approve you until
you
actually approve them, right? But
so do you have all your clients and stuff going?
Yeah,
through
everything.
That,
everything's going through that now, and like I can't complain. I'm running into a lot of problems. Like it's nice, but it's like I'm working out all the kinks now.
Yeah.
It's just like my small clientele basis. I'm gonna have a light version go out to use basically all the resources in the app for just the average Joe.
So you want someone to be able to sign up and use stuff under it, without really having a service by you type of thing?
Yeah. I want to make like the light pass version of it sort of deal, right? Where I still have my bronze, silver, and gold membership on there for any of my clientele, but if just like Joe Schmo wants to sign on and use the same resources. But
cool. So you have a bunch of big team and stuff like that now?
Pardon me?
Like do you have a big clientele
I wouldn't say my competition roster is as big as it was previously, like obviously pre-pandemic. Like,
I
had a pretty stacked lineup pre-pandemic, and then like now everyone's kind of like.
So you just went to a show?
Yeah.
What's it like there? Like,
I mean, it's not like it was like
even pre-COVID, obviously.
No.
Or it's not hasn't come back stronger yet.
It's getting a little bit better. Like I was at Jim Morris. Jim Morris was 22 athletes. Fidel Clark was 24, and then just going to Coburg was 72.
Okay, so and what like I feel like I remember having shows like 100, and that was like lower end, right?
Well,
or no, like pre-COVID?
Coburg, even their smaller shows were like 160, 170 athletes, right?
Okay,
so like this is substantially smaller
that,
still.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I don't see anything picking up.
Really?
Not this year.
Just based on the amount of people
based on people who weren't ready to prep. Like a lot of people I find weren't ready to, with so much uncertainty, they're like, am I just going to do the same things again?
That would play like a direct impact on like the next year's scheduling and like results of shows. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Damn.
And like just go into them, and it's kind of like I wouldn't say a ghost town, but it's definitely not like I used to bump into this person and that person. It used to take you forever to get from just getting tickets to sitting down.
I wonder how it'll come back, or like or not. Yeah, I guess how. Assuming it will. There's always going to be something.
It will. Yeah, I see it coming back, just not right away. Especially this year. I see this year still kind of being a dip, and next year I feel like people will be a little more comfortable competing again. It's like, who wants to waste all that money on their contest prep and everything else, and then it's canceled.
Oh, so you think that fear is still there of like just shit getting canceled again?
I still think we're gonna
really
go through another lockdown in the fall.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, like that doesn't even cross too much of my mind. But yeah, I guess people like that's a big thing, especially if people have seen it happen multiple times already to people, like. Start and then have to stop.
Even if it's not like a full lockdown, like restrictions with venues and everything else, right?
That would be the first type of shit.
Capacity limits, and that's what people are afraid of, right? You prep all that time, and it's like, well, my family can't come watch, my friends can't come watch, no one can come in the audience, and then it's just you on stage, and then there's the whole mass mandate stuff.
Interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily thought about that. So have you noticed a big difference in like like lifestyle clients, and like is that now just like all to focus on?
Pretty much all I've been doing for the past I want to say 18 months. All I've been focusing on is lifestyle, and I mean it's nice, but it doesn't give me the same
satisfaction.
So
you're still I say still because like I'm kind of like withdrawn from like having those feelings, not necessarily like being a coach, but just like that into the competitive scene or like even mindset. So you still have that's like a big thing. And
I go to a show and it's still like, oh, I'd like to get back on stage. But at this point, it's like after everything I went through with my health in 2020, I'm like, I'm not getting back on stage.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I'm going to live through my clients. And that's kind of where it's going to stay.
Yeah. So you always definitely want to have more of a competitive, higher percentage competitors and like lifestyle. Like
I can't say I want a higher ratio of competitors because like, with that comes all the responsibility of always being on top of those people.
For sure, versus like what you would need to do for a or like and
I want to get into other things, especially with cannabis now. And it's like if I'm getting into that industry, I can't sell myself short and like overwhelm myself with competitors. Even like after the show, I had about 3 or 4 DMs like right away. They're like, "Oh, are you still taking clients on?" Like,
yeah.
It's like I can't right now.
You can't because like a lot of people, like anyone that's like a coach, like a good coach, I guess, that has like just has overworked. It's so much time and energy because you have to like, I guess that's why people kind of like opt into like looking at apps or like different systems for them to use. But
so I just hired 2 guys.
Yeah, or stuff like that, right?
And
like,
that's another thing. So I just hired 2 guys for more coaching staff, and I'm still looking at hiring a couple more.
Yeah.
Just to kind of handle the influx of lifestyle and allow me to kind of concentrate on like more of the competition. Like I want to work more with competitors right now just because it amps me up. I'm getting back into shape, and it's like this is what keeps me going, sort of deal. That's what I like from it because I still get like a high from it.
Yeah.
But lifestyle, like it's nice helping people, but at the end of the day, it's
not
like
the same.
It's not bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's just not as extreme. I mean, like competitive and different persons.
Yeah,
people.
I used to go everything to the extreme. It was like all or nothing. And now I've actually like, as I get older, I'm finally finding that happy balance in between.
Yeah, totally. For sure, yeah.
And it's like, I don't need that, but it's like, it's still nice to have the excitement around.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I like having more lifestyle because it's like, it's easy. It's easy going. I can get on with my life. Some of my clients only message me once a week for check-ins are in.
For sure.
And that's
it's like cool. Like you do see, like there's definitely, I'm sure there's an aspect of like them changing their life in whatever aspect they're doing. So you training wise, like you're just saying
I'm just trying to get like one of my neighbors. I can't believe I never met this guy before. Like we have so much in common, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like he moved in right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we were just walking our dogs one day and we bumped into each other, started shooting the shit. And he actually trains at London Muay Thai.
Okay.
So he told me to start going there with him. I haven't fought since I was in kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. So I said, you know what? May 2nd is the day I go back to jits and I start going to Muay Thai. Boom,
something
injury
happened
right away, right?
Have you been training the last little bit?
Yeah.
Like just average?
Just like the last 6 weeks I've been like going hard again. Taking a little bit of sauce, just feeling good.
Yeah, just to kind of keep up everything.
Just a bit. Yeah, and it's diet's been on point, like micronutrition, like everything's been like super solid right now. And it's like, whoa, fuck.
Yeah. For sure.
Something
I guess
happens,
you got to
of course.
figure it out. Yeah. And
yeah.
But it's like,
no matter what, I already told myself, no matter what it is, I'm going to work around it. I'm going to keep look at this in a positive aspect. Like, hey, maybe your foot was like too far down on the gas right off the hop.
Well, especially with like that, jiu-jitsu type of thing. Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, like,
I like it, man.
I'm sure that's like the kind of the catch-22 is like, if you enjoy it and keep wanting, it's challenging and you've done it before.
Yeah.
Did you do it all?
Before I competed, I only fought for like 2.5, maybe 3 years.
Okay, but some foundation.
But yeah. And I was training at MTC in Windsor.
Yeah.
So like
I don't know many like.
Kyle Preplik, now in the UFC, trained there. Reno Belcastro, he was a K1 kickboxer.
Okay, yeah.
He runs the place, but they produced a lot of good fighters. TJ Laramie.
Okay.
Kyle Preplik. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
nice.
Randa Thomas, she was on The Ultimate Fighter. Like they've produced some like really good athletes.
When did it start? Has it been around forever?
Oh yeah, they've been around.
I guess when I was in Windsor, I didn't really know like other than lifestyles.
They started on Dougal actually.
Really? Probably
yeah.
fucking
so
right
that
down
was in your neck of the woods, wasn't it? Yeah.
Probably depending where, but I was like lifestyles was my like.
Yeah. They were right, literally in that same plaza originally.
Oh, maybe it was like because the original Good Life. Like how were you born in Windsor? You're born in Windsor?
Yeah. I lived in Tecumseh, Windsor, like pretty much my whole life until I moved out here.
You know the lifestyles.
Yeah, on Dougal.
And that good before it was Good Life. It was before it was, but it was the original Good Life in that tiny one above where Spartans was.
Yeah.
Is that where that was?
Yeah, right next to Spartan. It was there, like pretty much. Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was. It wasn't MPC. I think it was MXC or something like that.
Yeah.
Right then and there. But then they moved down the road on Dougal.
I don't know. I probably know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a good place.
You were at Tecumseh. We probably talked about this before, but what high school did you go to?
I went to St. Joe's for 9 and 10, and then I went to St. Anne's for 11 and 12.
I don't know if I know St. Joe's. I know a couple people there for sure.
Yeah, we probably know a couple names. I got in a lot of trouble when I was at St. Joe's, and then I went to St. Anne's.
Everyone that I know got in a lot of trouble.
I was suspended
at St. Joe's.
every other week at St. Joe's, and then I moved to St. Anne's, and it was like, what do you mean? What's wrong with this kid? He's never been in trouble once, not one detention,
That's
nothing.
like St. Joe's, though, I feel. Yeah, nice. And then you came to London right from there.
Oh, no, after high school, I stayed in Windsor for a little bit. I just moved out to London in 2019, May
from
2019.
Windsor, though?
Yeah.
Nice.
Spent some time I think I lived in Barrie for like 3 months, tried it out, hated that.
Really?
Yeah, didn't like it at all there.
And then
I don't like
back
GTA.
to Windsor. And then,
and then back to Windsor and then out here.
So you here now? Like, what about London? What, just something different than Windsor?
I'm here for now.
Yeah, really? So it's kind of just like whatever happens,
now, I want to go to Florida.
Oh, nice.
Like, the thing is, like, I still have this, like, dire, like this huge desire to just get into cannabis here, especially because it's going to be easier in Canada. I shouldn't say easier, but it's going to be cheaper in Canada as opposed to in Florida. In Florida, it's like kind of like a lottery with licenses.
Yeah, okay.
And it's really hard to obtain a license.
Yeah.
Where here is if you have the money and you meet the security clearance and everything's to spec for your building, you're just approved.
So what do you want to do? You want to open up a dispensary?
No. Oh. I want to have a full turnkey operation. So microcultivation, microprocessing, and then have a sales amendment. But I only want to deal with small batch. And I want to keep it very small and kind of like just a very niche part of the market. Like I do want to do flower and concentrates, but not a whole lot. There's some other products I kind of want to get into. And
so then what? Who do you sell? Who is your customer? The dispensaries?
Yes, they would be. So like right now,
as of now kind of thing?
The way it works is it's the OCS right now. Everybody sells their product to the OCS and then all the retailers order from the OCS.
There. Yeah.
So it's basically just like a huge catalog for them.
Oh, so you'd like to have your product on like OCS then?
So I've already gone out and I've got a bunch of letters of intent from a bunch of dispensary owners that I know. And
cool.
Like, I've got all my paperwork kind of like ready to go. We're just kind of waiting on property.
Oh, really? So it's like even...
I'm doing CCans.
Oh, cool.
So everything's like to spec, retrofitted. Like I already have all the building plans, everything else. So it's literally just like build it, finish it, submit it.
For your own purposes?
Yeah. But
you're not selling that CCan like type of thing. Like that's not the product. Right?
No. As the whole CCan thing, there's quite a lot of people doing it. But what we're doing is a little bit unique. Mm-hmm. So the way we're going to do it is we will, like, I'm not going to say no to work.
Yeah.
So, like, in the event that someone's like, hey, like, I like your setup, I want the exact same thing, especially, like, we're going to go out, we're going to go put them up if need be. But it's not going to be, like, a priority for me.
Yeah.
I just want to set it up here, and then I want to get my ass out to Florida.
Yeah, and then you can kind of just duplicate it wherever once you get there, or like
I'm not so sure about growing in Florida, and right now everything's like state per state. We're gonna wait and see what happens when they go nationally legal, and kind of.
But yeah, you wouldn't even have to be next to where those CCans are, anyways, right? Like,
no, the goal is
everything just can be done via this computer we're sitting in front of.
Even my grow right now that I have, everything's run from my phone.
Yeah, so it's like a small, even like the way you think of like small batch liquors or something like that, kind of same. Like,
I only want to do small batch. I don't want to get into a big processing facility and processing is the only thing I would say that eventually down the road I might upgrade into, but I would never go for standard cultivation. So the difference between standard and micro is only 200 meters squared. Is your canopy size, and that's what that's it. So it's like 600 kilos a year, 200 meters squared. That's what you have to play with.
Really? Yeah. And you just keep that one going all the time. Like,
and it's hard to make money with those margins, especially like right now. It's like a race to the bottom for prices for everybody.
Yeah.
Like black market and the legal market. Like I see both sides of it, and I'm just like, wow. Like,
so like even who's making the most money even along
the retailers.
Oh yeah.
Well, the government, of course, but then the retailers, like the actual dispensaries, are the ones who are making all the money right now.
Yeah.
like I have a chart that actually breaks down the whole spread from like packaging, cost of cultivation,
for sure.
and everything else, and it's the retail stores
that
that
has
make
the
most
biggest markup. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you ever want to take care of that aspect too, or like ultimately, or like do you?
It's something I'd like to visit because once we have what we want set up here, eventually when the farm gate program kind of rolls out a little bit more, that's something I would like to get involved in. And we have kind of a unique setup that we want to tie into that when the time comes.
Yeah.
Right now, I believe there's only 2 farm gates approved in Ontario.
It'd be like a fucking wine tour, but like
that's what we want to do. I don't want to say
cool,
too
like,
much, but like we have a whole experience that kind of goes with it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it, but it's just, we're waiting on legislation and the policies to kind of
really
come into
like
place.
just for to be able to.
Because even right now, there's over the next year, like a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot more potential coming through, especially with the lounges coming to be the consumption lounges.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you been to Grand Bend lately?
No. No. Alas, no.
So there's this girl, Laura Bradley. She opened up behind the Bend and. Is it on the Bend Cannabis? So she opened her dispensary.
Yeah.
And then she opened a cafe in the back of it, aside from it. But right now, it's a cannabis consumption lounge. It's the only legal gray area one in Ontario right now because she's following Smoke Ontario guidelines. She doesn't have more than 3 walls up.
Yeah.
She talked to her liquor, like the liquor board agent that she has to work with and everything else. They have everything like good to go.
Yeah.
No one's shutting her down or anything. And it's working right now. And the last I talked to her, she was working kind of with, I wasn't sure if it was HQCo or if it was Health Canada, and they were kind of going back and forth to like establish these rules and regulations. Yeah. So that's going to be something cool to come up on, right? Like,
yeah, I wonder how many. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: all these dispensary owners, like, if they're leasing their buildings in like a decent area, like, can they expand into the unit next to them and have?
Like, it's got to be a pretty unique setup where you have like a.
Because yours is outdoors right now, right?
Definitely outdoors where you have some sort of like backyard, something you could.
Man, it's cool because back there they got a bunch of picnic tables. There's like Jenga on one. There's like Connect
for sure.
4 on
I don't
another.
know. For some reason, it sounds familiar, but last time I was there's a brand new shop going up, but I don't know.
White building.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her place.
Actually, it was. Wow.
Yeah.
That's the smallest world. So a good friend of mine did all the fencing in the backyard, and like
that's the consumption lounge.
Yeah. So I know I was in that place because I was in there and he was working back there, and we went and stopped in there, and yeah, he was building that back like. Yeah. Yes, I knew this was like, but I knew it wasn't done yet, or like it was so I know exactly. Cool.
So I was going there before all my shifts when I was bouncing at the beach bar last summer. So I'd go there, just chill, kind of do whatever, do some client check-ins, just hang out, and then go work at the bar.
Cool. So so that's, is a lot going to change? Like, does a lot need to change in order for like people to be able to do that on their own, as far as like even just vague as having like a wine tour, but with
there's so many, like the Cannabis Act, if you read it, it's probably about the driest document you'll ever read, number one. And number two, it's just a giant list of like, this is all the shit you can't do.
Yeah.
Like Division 2, like the second part, Division 2, is all about promotion. And if you're going to go through there and read it, it's just like kind of disappointing and depressing. It's like, well, what can I do now?
Yeah.
But you see the retailers coming out with some of the more appealing packaging and everything else now, and things are starting
for
to,
sure.
Like, they're working through different gray lines, and like things are working, and especially like social media is changing a lot of things, but it's also like hindering a lot of growth.
Yeah.
Like even my account now, like because I'm going like from fitness into cannabis, like I notice sometimes like it does affect fitness for me because it's like I get hit, and sometimes it's like my reach is limited, everything else.
It's still
like,
crazy though, how like that it's even where it is. Like obviously as a avid consumer, you're like you always just assume you're going to be able to do whatever with it, but it is pretty crazy. Like every time do you go to the dispensaries often then, or no? Not really?
I go to hers because I like supporting people like I know that are like young business owners. I don't really go to the big shops just because like,
is there any
I want to support
like,
the little guy.
So is there any little guy, like where should I go?
I go to Grand Bend, man.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because it's also like I go out there. My buddies own Willie's and Pelican, and their dad owns Gator.
Okay.
So it's like we go out there, we go have lunch, everything else. Like it's a good time.
Then do you smoke your own most of the time?
Yeah, I don't like if I want to try something from like from a big processor.
Yeah.
Like I'll go out there.
Do you smoke? How much do you smoke every day?
Well, during the pandemic, like pre-pandemic, like I'd put a little bit in my packs and like maybe take a bong rip here or there, smoke a joint at night just to like help me go to bed.
Yeah.
Pandemic, oh my God. I had to start growing more because of how much I was consuming. I was smoking like an ounce a week.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
okay,
it was like ridiculous.
But do you
now I've cut back again heavily to the point where like I might smoke 2 joints a night, but I'm packing like a bowl in my packs like every couple nights like before bed. But like I have so much shit on the go that it's like if I were to keep smoking every day like throughout the day, I wouldn't get anything done.
Smoke all during high school, like
all during high school, since I was like 13.
Same. But I mean, it's probably. And that much. I mean, a couple 3 to 5 joints a day.
Yeah.
You know, like, but yeah. So it is.
I mean, it'd be like
funny how
like the pandemic. It'd be like 2-3 o'clock. I'd get a call. Like I was talking to my one friend, and she smokes a lot too. And she's like, "How much do you smoke today?" I'm like, I look at the desk in my garage. I'm like, "There's 8 roaches there right now." She's like, "Already?" I'm like, "Yeah."
What else is there to do?
Yeah. It's like I'd read, I'd do different things, but it was like there's only so much you can do before you get bored, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Do you work from home most of the time?
No. Well, for anything for adapted, yes. But throughout the summer months, I'm still operating equipment.
Oh, nice.
Just because it's amazing money. Like
yeah,
my benefits
are
great. My pension's great. If I decide to walk away from it,
that's always steady?
It's my plan B,
it's
no
like
matter what.
Never been busier type of thing, or is it like
it's always pretty steady. I can't complain about it. I only work like warmer months. Like my the contractor I was working for just this like recently in London here. As soon as it started getting cold and it started snowing, he like kept guys on, like working like 20 up to 30 hours a week. I was like, let me off.
Yeah. Is most of it in London, or you usually have to travel?
I've been really good since I've been here. I've just been doing stuff around London for the most part. Like I was on Port Stanley, and we're working on the new Amazon building right now.
Oh, sweet.
So like
it's all within distance.
It's all within like driving distance. It's not like too far at all. But when I was in Windsor, I was on the out of town crew with HQCo.
Okay.
And I was everywhere. Like I was out in Kentville, like Ottawa area, and like all over Ontario.
Yeah, I guess there's a time and place to kind of have that like kind of work style, and I guess
I worked like that's when I was competing too, right?
Yeah.
And I was working like insane hours,
yeah,
like just
for sure.
Absolutely like 65 to 82 hour week. Like I remember it was like 82 or 83 hours was like the most I ever put in a week.
Yeah.
But we just work ridiculous hours, and then I'd still end up at the bar bouncing Saturday night.
Man, I not that like, but yeah, that's just a different. Yeah, I remember. I like same not doing that job per se, but yeah, like 3 different jobs, going to bed not going to bed, and then having to go to work in the morning or like whatever.
Just living on sugar-free monsters for the most part.
No kidding. Yeah. Do you? What about podcast wise? So like, how?
Dude, I can't keep up with it.
I'm always curious because it's like, what was your motivation to do it? How'd it go? How's it going? Did it go like?
So for me right now, my podcast is definitely not consistent. I keep telling myself, I'm like, I'm gonna stick to an episode a week, and then like my to-do list goes from like 10 items to like 35.
But like, why? So what's it? When did you start it? During COVID?
420 during COVID.
Okay.
I started my first episode not this 420 that just passed, the 420 before. You know how many episodes I have right now?
It doesn't matter. That's not
5.
That's kind of not. I'm always just curious around the like. What's difficult about it? Like just
finding the time to do it.
What's it about? Is it just about
for me right now, it's just the Tonycangrow show. It's just like my talk show sort of like so to be, and like
usually pertaining to like weed stuff.
No, man, just everything, just growing in all shapes and form in life, right? Because that's where everyone sees the Tonycangrow now, and they're always like, oh, so like you're all about weed now only. It's like, no, it's like that actually came from me reading this book by Napoleon Hill. You've probably read it, Think and Grow Rich.
No, I haven't.
No? I keep thinking like every entrepreneur I know
there's probably like a handful of those books that like I have the same. I just finished one that I'm like, oh, I'm sure everyone's read this.
Book changed my life.
Yeah.
It's what made me be a lot more self-aware. Like even my first couple years in business with Adapted, like I had like this huge like just climax out of nowhere of success, and I was doing so well, and I was fully capped out, 45 clients.
Yeah.
I had a wait list of like 10, 12 people at all points in time.
Yeah.
Like everything was awesome. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And I kind of like I got kicked off my high horse.
Yeah.
I got to kind of like learn what it takes, like learn a little more of like what it takes to like do this long term. And like, I can't complain. I'm happy of like every fall that I've taken, I'm super grateful for, because it's like, it's taught me something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of people, they have like a failure and they're like, oh my God, this is like the worst thing ever. And it's like, you can bitch and moan and complain during the time. But like, I've learned a lot from any of the times when I've fallen on my face. And
Definitely.
I'm happy about them, right?
Yeah.
Like even me, like I was living on my own at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I had to grow up.
Yeah, for sure. Totally. And there's people that, do that, right? They figure out and like take it and figure out, motivates them, or people just bitch about it. But
it's like, life's what you make of it, right?
So is it hard starting that podcast where you're like, it's gonna be me only all the time? It's only gonna be a guest, I wanted to do guest type of thing, like in person, via Zoom or whatever, conference at the time?
My very first one was Zoom. The rest that I've done are in person.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going back to the Zoom just so I can be consistent with it. I got a buddy, he does his podcast, and they're like, I want to say like 90 something episodes in. Yeah. And they started during the pandemic too. And then I look at my 5 and I'm like, I need to get on it. But like at the same time,
it's like, if you needed to, then you would, you know what I mean?
It's like it's not necessary right now, and like my priorities are different. It's like I'm really trying to scale my business more, and I'm trying to get more into obviously cannabis.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to Lift&Co. Next weekend's the 12th. Yeah, next week. Next week's the 12th. So I'm there from the 12th to the 15th.
That's in Toronto.
Yeah,
it's like a big convention.
It's the biggest cannabis expo in North America.
Really? North America?
Yeah.
Crazy. So what's...
it might be Canada.
Was it last year?
Last year wasn't as big.
Oh, yeah. So what's the objectives going there? Wait, hold on. I want to
make connections, as many as I can.
Yeah. The podcast. Because like, again, it's like, do you find let's go, because I wanted to ask you about that too. Do you find it hard to get guests and stuff like that? Or like, more so like, is it an option to do it by yourself?
I could pull it off by myself, but like, let's be honest, I can sit in the mirror and talk to myself for like 2 hours these days.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like give myself shit for what I've done. Like not literally, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
talk,
just shop talk easily, like throughout the day. Like I can sit there on the phone with one of my buddies and like he'll tell me about his diet and his training. I'm like, hey, this is what you get. This is what you want to change. And I'll get into like a rabbit hole of like one topic after another. So I could sit there and just like bring up 3 things and like talk about 3 different things and go off in like another 4 different directions.
I guess it's like because for me, I'm always curious is like, where do people, because this is all just like for fun, the space is here, right? So it's less of like, I've never had any kind of expectation, so I'm always curious like where I feel I'm gonna run into like just maybe lack of motivation is purely what it'll come down to as far as like slowing down with podcasts. But here I'm pretty much limited to having the person in, which is like, I'd rather have it that way than it be a default kind of over the internet or something like that.
I mean, you could still set that up in here easily.
I could, but I'd never want to I'd still want to have like one person in 50, here at least. One in 50 be like on a conference. Yeah, I still want 99% of them to be like one-on-one talks and stuff like that.
Do you watch the Real Bodybuilding podcast? Is it I'm probably butchering that. Fuad's podcast. I haven't got into it either. I know a bunch of people. I used to
watch or listen to Palumbo and Chris Acetos because I found like they were a little more about life. I don't know. I haven't listened to the Fuad one, but I don't. Do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
No.
I do, but only certain ones. Every single time someone brings something up, I'm like, I got to listen to that because like I'm sure there is a lot to like relate to.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. But like I start listening, then I hear the banter, and I'm just like, when I'm listening, it's like I'm trying to grab information all the time. I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah, same too. Yeah.
So it's like I don't have time to read anymore, and like I've kind of lost the attention, like really to like sit in a book and actually read. And now I listen to audiobooks. Well, it's like
easy
all the time.
Too, yeah. Like, you can do it, and like I find it makes you either pay attention completely to an audiobook or you don't. Like, because if you're not paying attention to an audiobook, you just like lost that time of the book, like lost that book.
I'll listen to it 3 times in a row. I've listened to a book 8 days in a row every single day because I didn't pick up enough.
Yeah, that would probably be the best thing, kind of to make sure you got all the information versus reading it, because reading it, you have to set your attention to reading it. But
and I don't have time to do that, especially like I have all the stuff I have going on right now. It's like there's no way I can sit down and read a book.
Are you going on change? Are you going? Is there a show this weekend? Going somewhere.
Yeah, that would be the Mindy Show. I believe.
Not here though, right?
Niagara Falls.
Yeah, you have to go to that, or like.
I have a couple buddies who are like, you should come, and I'm like, I just went to 2 shows.
I'll have to follow up with her. I'll see how many people are in it and see. But I don't like
Niagara Falls. There might be a little more people because it's a nice spot to go, right?
Yeah. I'm so disconnected, kind of like just from anything to do with, really, competitiveness in general.
Yeah, my buddy's got a client in there, but that's what he said. He's like, it's an excuse for me and my girlfriend to go to Niagara and have a weekend
that
too,
would be
right?
Right. Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's a nice show to go to, especially because there's a ton of shit to do in Niagara Falls. Like even after post show, a ton of different.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the last trips we went on was just to Niagara Falls for the weekend or whatever. Nice. So dogs, you got
2 now.
Are they're not related?
No,
they look a lot the same. I know, though, right?
That's what I was going for.
Really?
Yeah, I was
How
trying
old's
to.
One?
She will be a year later this month.
And the second?
4 years old.
Oh, okay, I thought you were
bigger.
gonna say the year one was the older one. I was like, damn.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The younger one, that's just going on a year now, is already bigger than my 4-year-old.
Is it a male? Both females?
Both female.
How's that?
They get along great. Like in the beginning, oh my god, man, that's a story in its own.
Well, one would be that you'd know probably right now if they were not gonna get along, right?
100%. The first 2 weeks, I was pulling my hair out. I didn't know if I could do it.
Why? Because they didn't get along?
My older dog she was stressed. She was anxious. I gave her CBD to calm her down, and she threw up everywhere. And there was one night I was just like, I was about to break down. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
So
I need help.
Got better, obviously.
Yeah, I got better. But now they sleep with each other all day. They cuddle nonstop. They fight. They go back to whatever.
Yeah,
like there's play fighting,
least,
but like they're literally sisters. It's freaking awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that's
solid. Bella had really bad separation anxiety, especially after the whole pandemic, being at home all the time. And now me being out of the house for like 8, 10, 11, 12 hours in a day and coming home.
Yeah.
It was like I wanted her to have someone else there, so that's why we got Mila.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm waiting on switching out some deadbolts and drilling some new holes in my door, because over the last month, I want to say Mila's been crated while Bella's had free roam of the house.
Yeah, and she's just gone to town.
Well, I had to start creating Mila because my mom was actually in town. My little sisters had a dance recital at Centennial.
Okay.
So I just sat down. My kid sister's first number comes on. My phone starts buzzing like nuts. It's my security system.
Yeah.
I click, I look. My dogs are running around the front yard.
No way.
She knows how to unlock the deadbolt on the door.
That's hilarious. Wow, it's not that funny.
Yeah,
right?
so
Like,
she figured that out. So I immediately shot out of my seat, raced home, and thank God it was only like a 15-minute drive, right?
Still, yeah.
Still, but like that 15-minute drive, I think, was only 7 minutes.
Yeah.
But I got home. Luckily, one of my neighbors had
picked up on it.
Yeah, I called my one neighbor as soon as I seen what happened. He called one of my dogs in, locked her inside, and then one of my other neighbors grabbed my other dog, and I thankfully just got her. It was super simple. I mean, like we always think it's gonna be worst case scenario, and it wasn't. But ever since then, I started creating her until like I have time to put another deadbolt in the door.
Why you didn't crate them? Are they crate trained?
They're crate trained.
At night?
Not anymore. Now they have free roam. They did. Both of them did. It was nice. I have cameras all over my house though, right? So I can always check up in on them.
Kilo is just terrible with beds in her in her crate. But she never like chewed anything up. But like there's probably like 15 pictures of beds in her crate that she's just ripped apart. I have 15 pictures. I'd say 15 of her sitting in her crate with the door open, just like looking like she just ripped something up.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, the beds for like those big crates are like. Anyways.
Yeah. She's opened up her bed, but she hasn't really defluffed it like she does every single toy she gets.
Yeah.
But I can't complain, man. My dogs are really good. She's just got this habit where she goes in my basement, steals my C-clamps, and chews them to absolute nothing. Just the C-clamps. Don't ask me why.
So weird.
So it's like she has some weird fixation with the thing. I don't know. She leaves the spray and completely chews the shit out of the plastic and just leaves it there.
I guess it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Eating the springs.
Right.
Where do you train? Mostly at home? Are you back?
I'm back at Good Life right now.
Nice. Which one?
Southdale.
Okay.
I find it's quieter. I can put my hat on forward, keep my headphones on, and just do my thing, and like nobody bothers me. And that's kind of like what I'm doing right now, especially like trying to get back in shape.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to be bothered by like anybody.
Did you build the whole home gym during COVID?
I hated it though. It wasn't the same. Like,
no, definitely not. It's hard. Like even when this gym was like half of maybe like 50% of what it is now, you know, like there was like a super upgraded home gym.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to compare that, but like it always felt.
You guys have everything down here.
Now we do.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can go and like I don't have any urge to like go to Good Life or like throw in other gyms in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like I can imagine that like everyone that built home gyms, like for sure some people. Same reason people like this gym when it was just the basics. Mm-hmm. Some people are good with that and that's all they need. They're not picky or whatever, right? They have different goals and that is good enough. But I can imagine that most people that built home gyms are just like it's going to be complete waste.
I use my one of the Century Bob combat dummies more than I use any of the other equipment.
Yeah. Will you just hold on to it though?
I'll hold on to it forever.
Right? I guess now that you have it and everything.
Yeah, I had one before when I lived in Windsor. Yeah. And I ended up selling it because it was such a pain in the ass to move that thing.
Yeah.
So I moved here and I was like, I'm gonna buy another one. But I bought $4,000 worth of equipment, and
it's like it is say something though. Like if you do, it's there, right?
It's there when you want to grab a pump and you're at home and like you don't want to go to the gym. If you're really run down in a day and it's just like that's the thing. If I have a shoulder day come up, and it's like I'm super run down. I know I only have like X amount of time and I want to shave the drive time off of going to the gym. I'll go downstairs and train delts. Like training delts at home is pretty easy considering I have cable tower, power rack, dumbbells, plates.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All the good stuff, right?
More like people are just so used to having everything that even that's kind of like more than what.
Oh yeah, like I definitely during the pandemic was spoiled enough to have a gym, but like at the same time I wasn't using it. I wasn't motivated.
Yeah. You don't have clients. You don't train one-on-one clients.
No, I haven't done one-on-one clients since I was at Train Station, back in Windsor.
Why do I know that?
Jamie Bertrand used to run the place. He used to run Central Lifestyles before they got bought up by Good Life, and they made that a Fit for Less. And then he opened up Train Station on Tecumseh Road. It used to be the old Hyundai dealership.
Yeah, I think I know. I think that was after because I was gone.
Yeah. You said you had already moved here.
Yeah, I must have. I know. What's the gym? True. You know True Fitness?
Yeah. Louise's place.
Yeah. That's kind of other than the Good Life. That Good Life was like that'll. That would, I think, still to this day, if I was like, someone was like, here, have as much money as you need and open a gym, I would build a Lifestyles.
Yeah?
I don't know. Like, I feel like...
You know what? I can say that, though. It is OG.
It's like just the whole building setup and like, have you been back to that Good Life recently?
Yeah. Well, not recently, but I've been there since it's been Good Life, yeah.
I think even recently they've done, like, that's probably one of the nicest Good Lives, like, even gyms that I can say I've, like... been in, but I don't know, just something like that was the first gym I ever went to, and I was like, it was such a cool setup with like everything upstairs and like big open downstairs and like massive. And
I went there. I did like it. Don't get me wrong, but I always went to Manning, the Tecumseh one. I was either there or you know what? I really like training at Riverside Family Fitness.
Yeah, or
Joey's
Riverside.
place.
Yeah. I know him too. Yeah. I haven't been. Both of them were again past when I was gone, but I know both of them. Yeah, those would be the gyms I'd go if I was back in town. For sure.
Especially what Joey's done with that place. If you've seen it, when I remember the day he got the keys, when it was like just precision of what he's turned it into now. That gym's night and day. Yeah. Like it's so nice there now.
I can imagine, and that's like, is it in like LaSalle?
No. Riverside Family Fitness is right on.
Oh yeah, what am I thinking?
Wyandotte, next to the Metro.
He used to have one over in Riverside or LaSalle.
There was Beach Walk. You're thinking about Beach Walk, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that's still there too. There's a Beach Walk in LaSalle. There's one in Bell River, and I believe there's one in Essex as well.
Couldn't even tell you. Do you go back to Windsor often?
Not anymore. I used to.
Do you have family down there?
Yeah. All my family is still there. I got a bunch of friends there. I just never see them.
Same.
And
I do. I still keep in touch with them, but like. I don't go down that much. Especially, it's weird because with Tatum, I guess my parents come up this way a little bit more, so it's a little like less excuse. But Yeah, I don't go down as much as I should, for sure.
That's what I was saying too. I'm like, I need to go see my family more often because
I love
often
the
we get.
casino too.
You know what? Everyone, like, I've been to different casinos in different places, and everyone's like, "Oh, this place is nice. This place." I'm like, I grew up in Windsor.
Yeah, it's
so like
unreal.
Caesar's Windsor's like the nicest casino I've ever been to. Like, I grew up with a nice casino.
I'm so lucky to have same. I remember that like crazy.
Even like the hotels there are fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
Like,
right on the water and everything. Yeah. You get going on any trips? You got any trips planned or like vacations or anything like that?
not right now. I can't wait.
What's your timeline on like the app being at kind of like the next like biggest checkpoint?
It was supposed to be end of April.
Okay, but like that's not bad. So like
that's
even
why
then is like
that was my own personal deadline. That's why I didn't announce any deadlines. Like I started putting the app out there for like beta testing and everything else, and like I was giving away. The beginning of January, I did a deal. I did a promo. So it was pay for 6 months, get the extra 6 months free on the app, and it was just for the lifestyle coaching. Just because I want to load up the app with as many people as I could to like debug anything, make sure everything was good, see if like some of the courses and lessons we had on there, if like there was any issues with any of them, if people found they weren't as informative or like I missed points that like I should have brought up and everything else. Yeah, just get a good amount of feedback on everything, and like so far so good.
Did you do all that? What's that consist of? Like, is it exercise? Is it videos?
Everything. I did. So I'm doing text, audio, and audio video.
All you?
Yeah.
Nice.
And right now, what I'm working on is kind of making an AI. It's not like machine learning AI, but like basically something that'll guide you through everything and do question and answer responses to like everything.
Cool.
So I want to build it that way so it doesn't have my face on it. So I can also just go, okay, here, you're a business owner. You have X amount of clients. You want this solution. I'm selling time back to people, right? Yeah,
for sure. Especially, when like kind of what we were saying before, it's like that's the epitome of like what overworked coaches run into. It's just like at a certain point, they're like, I'm out or I got to get something like that.
It's the easiest sell. Selling someone time is the easiest thing you can do. Everyone's like, oh, you got to market this. I'm like, sell somebody their time back and you'll have a customer for life. Yeah. Like it's an easy sell. So I want to.
Weekends?
What's that?
Do you work weekends?
No, I work right now for the contractor I'm working for. I work Monday through Thursday, full days, and then Friday's like a half day. And then I have all the other free time for myself. So typically Monday through Thursday, I'll book 1 or 2 Zoom calls a night with clients if I need to, or get caught up on content or like stuff for the app or whatever else I'm doing. Yeah. I'll get like an hour and a half, max 2, depends what I'm training at the gym. I'll get my lift in and then it's bed and that's it.
Yeah. What time do you go to bed?
I try to be in bed for 10.
And you're up at?
5.
Yeah, okay, that's like me. I mean, I'm usually like 6, 7 up, but 10. Do you just suck if you don't sleep? Like I do. I suck if I don't sleep. Like I guess like it's different if I go, like if I said this before, if you have the pull and all night, like if you're motivated for certain reasons, but like if I just find that I'm dicking around until midnight or like later, I just like suck the next day.
And it depends when I smoke too.
Really? I kind of just smoke all day every day, so it doesn't really matter anymore.
So for me, if I smoke past like 9:30 and I'm going to bed for 10, I'm a wreck the next morning. I'm tired, I'm groggy.
Really?
I feel like I feel like I needed an extra couple hours of sleep.
Yeah.
If I smoke before like 9, like 8 o'clock ish, I'll be burning out, get a great night's sleep, wake up tomorrow morning feeling like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like if I smoke too late before bed, I find it disturbs too much of my sleep. But if I smoke it just to get me to that point where I'm ready to pass out,
tired,
I still get a pretty good sleep.
Nice.
But I'm also using like CBD, CBN, and just like trying to get the most out of my sleep.
Yeah. What kind of CBD do you have?
I've grown a couple different CBD strains, and I've been infusing some of my own oil. I sent some stuff away to BC to a processor for them too.
Oh, sweet. So it's like the more you can keep in-house, the better. That'll just be a line of products under the thing eventually, or is it like...
I don't want to get into CBD. It's super saturated.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think you have
we have for a while,
this.
But like it's, again, we kind of are at the point where... And the only objective was to get to the point where kind of the floodgates open. We have the product that like checks all the boxes. So right now it's kind of just like a waiting game for us. But yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, and that's how we kind of differentiate ourselves, is like being technical with the silly stuff, packaging, labels, what needs to be proper on there versus just like the bullshit.
That's a big thing too, because no one just wants to buy something that looks like crap. Yeah,
and that's like that's all that I don't know. That's all that 80% of CBD companies have had to do so far. So
it's all marketing.
We're like, fuck it, let's like just get a product that will check all the boxes to be on the shelves at the big picture Walmarts and stuff like that. So again, for us right now, it's just a waiting game. But
and I mean, that's what it is for pretty much everybody in the CBD game.
Yeah,
I'm even looking at industrial hemp licenses.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a place for them. Just right now, I don't see it.
Yeah, for sure.
And right now, there's this huge hype over EVs, right?
Yeah.
And then there's is it Honda? Is it Honda or Honda that's getting into hydrogen? Someone's getting into hydrogen,
really?
And
probably
like,
that's cool.
I don't know. I'm still going back to the fact that like, hey, like we can use hemp for how many things? Why not biofuel?
Yeah,
why aren't we doing that? Hemp also pulls all these toxins out of the ground, cleans the air. Like we keep talking about carbon tax and all this stuff. Plant more hemp.
Yeah, for sure.
It literally, it heals the planet.
Yeah.
Why not plant more hemp?
I'm sure that the more people ask that, the more kind of it leads to that direction over time.
There's still like to get the infrastructure in place, to get the equipment in place, and everything else. So there's a huge upfront cost, especially for research and development. For
not only that, but then to like not know and sit on something.
Exactly.
Like just for like to know you have a process in place or whatever it is, facility or a system that just is like, on hold, essentially to get going.
That's the same with cannabis right now. There's so many places that are on hold. Well, that's the thing. When you put your licensing forward and you press go on your application, you can't start growing until they come in and approve you, and that could be up to a year and a half, depending on some places, right?
Yeah.
So the thing that takes the longest is your security clearance.
Really?
Yeah.
And
RCMP's just got to go through everything, and then it's usually like anybody who's getting into it, it's best to keep like, hey, where's my application sort of deal.
The more you can bug them, the better.
Yeah, kind of to an extent, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Back to that. What's it called? The expo.
Yeah, the Lift and Co Expo.
Yeah.
So they.
Are you gonna have something there?
No, I'm not gonna have a booth. I've been asked for this by someone. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna come visit you at your booth." I'm like, helping out, doing like interviews.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like if there's not enough reason to. Like, I get it. So sorry.
But I'm just going there to like kind of help out as an ambassador with them, and like the whole reason, because it's an unpaid position.
Yeah.
But I looked at it as like a huge opportunity. You get to sit in a room with all the industry owners, all the people who are like in the now of what is going on, where it's going to be going. Start to make connections, right?
Definitely.
Because my big thing was in fitness with bodybuilding. You know how easy it is to like score a couple like supplement deals for like free supplements in the beginning and everything. It's getting a little bit harder now, and they want you to how things are. But like originally, when you first got in, when like things were going well, you could pretty much not pay for anything in bodybuilding anymore. Yeah.
If you were kind of like for sure.
I want to do this.
Motivated enough to,
Yeah, if you were motivated enough to do it and you did enough content, like you'd have enough brand deals where like you get everything for free.
Yeah.
I bodybuilded for free, so I wanted to smoke and grow for free. Mm-hmm. So I've accomplished that now. Well, almost. I don't have anybody paying for my electricity or my nutrients yet, but
different products.
Yeah.
So like, how many different?
Right now, I'm working with Levo.
What's that?
The oil infuser. I've been posting about that lately.
Yeah, I know. I don't. Yeah. So tell me, like.
So you pop this thing open. It's an amazing little appliance, and it looks like a coffee maker. Okay. You pop it open, you throw all your flour in this pod. You throw the pod in. If it's not already dried, I mean, like, there's a dry option on there, but I think most people already have dried flour that they're putting in.
Yeah.
And then, the whole decarb process when you're making edibles, you got to throw it in the oven and it stinks up your whole house.
Yeah.
You don't got to go through that because you press a button and it decarbs your flour for you in the machine.
Yeah.
Doesn't stink up the house. You pop it back open, you put it in their little stir, load it with oil, and you hit infuse for like 2.5 to 3.5 hours, and then it infuses everything for you, and you click dispense, and it fills up a jar full of infused oil, and that's it.
And then you put that oil in whatever you want.
Yeah. So either edibles, like the droppers, anything.
Crazy. So what's it come out of the machine as? Oil,
whatever you put in. You can use whatever carrier oil. You can even infuse milk. You can infuse honey in it.
Okay, so it takes both the oil and the flour, so it decarbs it,
Yep.
and then it
infuses it.
infuses it, and then
Yeah.
it sucks it out. Basically, the same thing you would do on your okay,
on your own,
gotcha.
but like with no mess.
No way.
No odor.
Are they like?
I love it.
Are they expensive?
I mean, any good kitchen appliance is usually a couple $100.
Okay, but it's not like $3,000. It's not
No,
like,
no,
it's like
it's-
something like that 5 years ago would have been like $10,000 or something.
I think it's like $4.99 for like their ultimate bundle, which comes with a bunch of like gummy trays, a bunch of other like their mixes,
No
a bunch of
shit.
accessories, everything else. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
So okay, if I get that, how do you measure it? You don't really?
The potency?
Yeah.
So they actually have a bundle with TCheck. And I've yet to use a TCheck myself, but basically it syncs to your phone through Bluetooth, and it's a little analyzer. So you put in your little sample, you throw it in there, it does its thing, and then it gives you a rough estimate of potency.
No shit.
So I don't know how accurate it is. I haven't tried it myself yet. I'd like to try and get my hands on one soon.
Anyone that's making their own though, I feel like anyone that's interested in that product is probably just already doing that themselves, right?
I was even looking at the Purple Pro.
Yeah.
But I want everything I grow once I have my final strains for market. I have a couple of them because
Yeah.
I've been breeding, and that's what I've been like kind of
Yeah.
low key getting everything ready, because it's like, hey, I don't want to go to market with just like these couple strains that like a lot of other people may have. Like I want to come out with some pretty cool things
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to market with those. But I'm sending everything off to an actual lab, and it's costing me $180 per sample.
Yeah. Sorry, no, but with that machine in particular, it's customer, like why I asked about that customer is like because people that make that do that process on their own, and it stinks up their whole house, and like they don't really know. They're kind of in a guessing game as far as dosaging versus the people that go to the dispensary and get the 10 milligram ones. Like anyone's already used to kind of like flipping the coin at how much is actually in there too.
This gives you the
little bit
ability
more.
it gives you a lot more control. So that's what's cool about it. Because then as soon as you make your oil, you can thereafter check exactly what it is, and then you know how everything gets dosed.
Yeah, I mean, if you know the potency of it, whatever, then it's on you to not be an idiot to figure out how to.
Yeah. So with Levo right now, the next piece of content that I'm filming and getting out is Gummy Roulette.
Oh, great!
So
That's a terrible idea.
So what it is it was actually the latest YouTube video I just put up.
Yeah.
But I made gummies, and then Levo has a sharing is caring kit, so they have these plastic seal bags. They're foiled. They're like real nice and everything else. So they come with the sealer. So you load the bags with supposed to be 1 to 3 gummies is what they told me to do. I loaded them with like 2 to 8.
Yeah.
So everyone's got to pick a bag, and then whatever bag you pick, you have to eat everything inside the bag.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, hilarious and terrifying.
I mean, I didn't make them super, super potent. So like,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
guess.
like you'll yeah.
So you did that with a bunch of people?
I'm in the middle of filming that
nice.
still. So I just got to the portion where everything's all bagged up, ready to go, and now I have like a bunch of people.
the whole process of it.
Yeah. I made the video in 3 parts. So next is like the actual playing
That's
of the game.
hilarious.
My problem right now is everyone's on different work schedules. I got Lauren and Natter. I'm pretty sure you know them. Yeah. So I got them supposed to come down for it, and then I have other people. I'm like trying to like, hey,
line
when are we
everything up.
all gonna get together and do this? So I might just do it in chunks and have a couple people do it and pick the bags and go through it, and just do it in like a couple different segments. But yeah,
That's funny. Okay, so that's cool. Actually, that's like I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm working with PAX.
Yeah.
I think you're familiar with
Yeah,
PAX,
yeah.
right?
They're a small. I always.
They're a large company.
I know
now.
they're in a large. They're not to no offense. They work with people on one-on-one kind of thing. Like I would always think them just to be like, a big enough brand that like they don't.
Right.
Like
But it's
Raw,
social-
I guess. Does Raw
works with people.
do that?
Yeah.
I guess they do. Yeah. So what's PAX? Just
the pretty much the most premium vaporizer on the market right now.
then it's just like a
I
sponsorship.
just
type of thing?
post their stuff. It's all right.
Yeah.
I
What
can't
else?
complain. And then I'm working with AC Infinity, and this is probably my favorite I don't want to say my favorite sponsor because like everything's
no,
good.
no, that's cool though.
But like
that's
I
what,
have a lot of
nutrients and stuff.
No, just all grow equipment.
Oh, equipment, cool.
So everything they have is automated. Like when they first came out, they had those super sleek black fans, thin line fans that everyone was getting that had the humidity controller and temperature controller like out of the tent. And now they have everything. The only thing they don't have is a fertigation system. Other than that, they have everything.
Cool. Is there even like, this is just my ignorance, is there a lot of companies that do that? Is there like a lot of competition within like each of these like?
There is, but for what they're doing and how their branding's going right now, I was gonna like, you can't really compare AC Infinity to any other company because they're just fucking killing it right now.
For stuff like that, is it all usually Canada only?
No, they're from California.
Oh, cool. So they're not even Canadian.
Yeah,
not that that's cool, but like that's cool that like there's not a bullshit, you know, being States versus Canada or anything.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
it's all the equipment's awesome. I just trialed out some of their new LEDs. I just grew some. I'm literally cropping out this week.
Cool.
So I'll get to see my my yield numbers on what I pulled with their lights.
Yeah.
And like right now, like all my buds, I have two layers of trellis.
Okay.
And those top buds that still came through are still drooping over because they're too heavy.
Cool.
So like I know it's going to be a sick yield. So I'm happy with the performance of them.
I gotta do Do you do anything outside?
I don't like doing outside anymore.
Why?
Pests.
Like ruin them?
Yeah, I'm just, especially the last couple of years with humidity towards the end of the summer and everything else. Like I don't want like dealing with mold or anything else. I like dealing with my controlled environment, having everything perfect. I strictly grew outdoors before I started growing indoors.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was an outdoor guy all the time.
Okay, so it's
period.
not a complete waste of time.
Yeah, it's not at all. It's just now with what I'm doing and to the level I'm doing it, it's like everything has to be controlled at all points.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
So like for me, the transition from fitness to cannabis was the same as coaching athletes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still tweaking small things, changing really small amounts, giving it different nutrition, doing different types of training with the plants and everything else. It's literally the exact same thing, and it's basic biology.
Yeah.
So it's literally the same thing.
Are there apps that do that for someone growing their own?
There's a bunch of different like plant
Tracking
journals
apps.
and everything
Yeah.
else. Yeah. But
any like that suggest how to change shit, like a coach would, like, yo, your plant's a little this.
That's what I'm working on.
Right? Like that would be like a coaching to grow type of thing.
Cannabis Coach.
Yeah.
That's
that'd be cool.
that's my other platform that I'm working on.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna have this ready like a year ago. And then when I got it going with the Adaptive Physique app, I'm like, how much more can I like pump into this? Because at first it was just like something for people to do check-ins, for me to send them stuff, everything else. And now it's gone to the point where like, I want this to be like your last stop in fitness sort of deal, right? So my big thing with the app is like, this app is supposed to bring me to Florida. Like that's my goal with it. I want to get out into the States with this thing, and that's where I want to really capitalize on this in the States. Canada's, I mean, like the States is also saturated, but like
still got just more going on.
I think I've grown. I don't want to say I've grown as much as I can here in Canada, but like I've been a part of the CPA for how long? Like people that know me, and then the newcomers that don't, like they will in time. And like pretty much my whole following on Instagram is Canadian Physique clients.
Yeah.
So right, it's
just
like
need a change of environment.
Yeah, I need to widen my scope, right? I need to increase things. And one of the other companies, I'm working with HD, but I'm also working with Goalie Nutrition. Okay. And pretty much everything I do with them is in the States. Okay. I don't really do much with them in Canada. They actually, the last time I had kind of like a little chat with them, they're like, we're not going to promote your stuff in Canada anymore. Yeah. And I was like, well, why? Because they're like, you have such a better response in the US to your stuff. Like, so I'm like, hey, I'm not complaining. It's like last month, I think I did like 44 sales or something like that, and I didn't post about it once.
Yeah. It's just, I guess you just got to go with what works. Yeah, for sure. Like probably a lot of the time maybe a lot of the time there is a rhyme or reason, but definitely sometimes there's not.
I didn't not a single grid post last month, and I made 44 sales.
So you got to tell me then, maybe I'll defer back to you for this season of my outdoor plants.
Yeah. Let me know if you need any help with anything.
Should I start from a seed or a clone?
Well, right now it's like second we can go with clones right now because you haven't had time to like veg anything up over the course of like March.
So I'm already screwed?
You're not already screwed, but I would just go with clones.
Okay, which
At
is
this
what I
point.
did last year.
Yeah.
I just put them in like, because me, it's like
I mean,
someone stole them here.
Oh, no way.
Well, it's kind of like out around back, like there's this little like
do you not
back
want,
area.
Do you not want to grow at home because of the kids?
Oh no, not necessarily. This is for. I honestly, I don't even. Since it's outdoor, like I probably don't even care if I ever smoke it. You know, like
okay.
I probably will eventually if I get it, just to like. But I was pissed last year because it's like someone stole your baby, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But other than that, like as you kept growing, I probably started a little late, and then like August, right before it was good. Someone like the trains are up there, so people know it's like
Probably the most depressing thing.
I was like, even at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, these are gonna get taken for sure because I've never done it. I got clones, put them in like. Again, not nearly big enough flower pots, so they were like limited from the start. Like they stopped growing as far as their size. But
and then, how much nutrition are you re-adding to that soil, right?
none really, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking watering it, and like again, it's more of like they got to a certain size, and then someone took it. I'm like, oh, even if those were garbage anyways, like I was like,
Yeah, at that point, what I'd say is, if you want to grow from seed, grow an autoflower.
yeah.
Yeah,
All from outdoor though, or do I have to bring it?
you don't have to bring it autoflower. Just leave them outside.
But I don't mind clones. Clones are like a little more foolproof. Or no, not necessarily.
It depends on the strain.
Okay, well.
You get something that's a little harder to grow
So I
that
need
needs
to
a
go
little
get
more
my
nutrition.
flower pots and shit ready.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
what?
I mean, like,
when would you put a clone in outside?
well, that's
Not yet.
What I would do, especially with clones, I'd be slowly trying to hard them up towards the outside. So like what I would do is I'd keep them on a windowsill and keep opening the window, start getting them used to not only like the outside, like the temperature outside, how it changes and fluctuates a little more than indoors.
Why? Because they're not that resilient.
Not when they're inside. If you were to take it
from a clone.
yeah, it's because you're going from a completely controlled environment to
No controlled environment.
Look at Ontario. We have all 4 seasons in one fucking
That's what
day.
I mean. That's what I mean. Like, when do you know when to like start putting it out there? Because you're gonna like it's gonna snow and like maybe not now.
I
also said that last time I was on here. It's like
when I look at the weather, it's like, what do I see happening? Are we still gonna get slammed with rain through April showers, May flowers, or is it like the end of May? Are we done with the huge amount of rain?
Yeah.
Throw them outside. I wait for the rain to calm down and then I bring them out.
Okay.
Is what I do.
Can I ask you if can I get clones somewhere?
I can direct you to a place where you can legally purchase clones. Yeah.
Okay, so that's still not like.
No.
But why can you not buy? Could I not put a seed in the back?
You can
get it big and then give it to you, or get it clone size and then give it to you.
I mean,
not that's, but like, is that where's the hiccup there?
You're not supposed. I mean, as long as there's no monetary transaction, it's like if you're just kind of like, here, throw this in your backyard, sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's gray areas, right? And that's what everybody operates through right now.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you watch what you say and how you present the information.
I gotta get my flower pots then.
Yeah. You just watch how you present the information, and like that's how people work through different things. Even with like the compassion clinics before, it was a lot of gray area that people work through, and it's just the way it is right now.
Hopefully, I stumble upon some clones.
Yeah.
'Cause, again, I'm not very picky in kind of but I don't like smoking just like crazy outdoor. Well, you are picky. Yeah, so am I guess, but like I'll just like, even if I'm growing shit outside, I'll assume that like I'll have no interest in smoking that other than one time, just to probably say I smoked my own stuff. But other than that, it's like I wouldn't want to waste my time smoking. Like, I'm picky.
Yeah.
I guess I am picky, so I want to like.
I don't like smoking other people's weed.
Yeah.
Anymore. Like, I smoke my own, and that's pretty much it.
For sure, I could get how you get like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have brought some.
Like next time I'm around, we'll smoke some.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I want to smoke my own and only my own. Like when I went to Ottawa in the winter, when everyone was down at the Parliament there was people going around with freezer bags, just jam packed with joints, just handing them out to everybody.
Yeah.
People kept giving me them, and I just kept getting them to my buddy. I'm like, I don't want them. I'm like, I don't even want these. I'm like, I'm not a snob about it, but it's just like, I don't want to smoke somebody else's weed. Yeah,
I get it. It's I get
it's a weird preference now too. So it's like even guys at work be like, "Oh, do you want to smoke some?" I'm like, "No, I'm good, but you can smoke some of mine."
That's hilarious. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
everyone's not growing it then.
No,
the same way,
so right now I got AK, Super Lemon Haze, Green Crack, White Widow, Double Chocolate, Do-Si-Do, Wedding Cake, and Gelato cropping out at the end of next week.
Okay, so when would that have started?
Oh, these are on a cycle. So they would have started, all of them would have been within 8 to 10 weeks from final flower.
Okay.
But these are all genetics that I've kept alive for a while now. And like, I just keep cloning, and I got my mother plants where I take my clippings and everything else. But like, these are the genetics that I've sustained. Like, these are my better phenos, because I've popped hundreds of fucking seeds of Green Crack and White Widow and everything else just to get the phenos I have now. And I'm still not happy with them.
Really?
So I'm still breeding a shit ton of seeds and popping seeds.
What's it ultimately come down for? Like looks, what it tastes like, smell, like
everything, and
the
then
type of high, or like
that. And I want to try and get the highest terpene content I can. So
that comes down to sending it away and stuff.
Yeah,
though?
yeah, and that's another big thing too, right? So like the industry is kind of strayed away from like who's got the highest THC to who's got the best terpene profile and like how's it taste and everything else.
Like every time I go into something, I'm like, give me the highest. Like although it's like if you're not at like if assuming it's not some insulting price, you know, but like
I mean.
But are more people going into like paying attention to more of the terpenes and stuff?
A lot more now. And a lot more of the bud tenders are kind of like steering people in that direction. And especially with social media, people are kind of going in that direction a little bit more now too, like for like industry, what's trending. But the average consumer will go into the dispensary still and say, what's the highest THC?
Yeah.
So that's why so many cultivators are having a hard time getting rid of their bud. Like a lot of people, like I'm in a Facebook group with all the other micro cultivators in Ontario. Well, actually pretty much around Canada.
Yeah.
And every week somebody's like messaging like, hey guys, thanks for everything. But like, no, they're like, hey guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for all your help. But we're shutting down shop as of like X day.
Because they can't sell what they have.
They can't sell what they have.
Because it's like falls in a too oversaturated. It's all 20%.
Yeah, exactly. And like,
it's not 25 or 30, and it's like, really?
It's people are having a hard time getting rid of bud.
And you can't at that point, like you still gotta. It's not garbage. I mean, you still gotta charge like what you charge for it. I'm sure.
And the thing is, like once you go legal and everything's getting logged through the CTLS, it's not like any of that weed's going missing out the back door.
Yeah.
So once you commit to going legal, you're legal. So
is that just purely oversaturation in grower, high scale growers?
It's the fact that everybody's trying to grow as much as they can for some idiotic reason.
Really?
Where I find the guys who are playing it smart are growing small batch, really high quality, and they're really good with their marketing.
So it's like still the same amount of growers. It's just like the top 50% are just fucking pumping out 5 times as much as they normally do.
Not even, because like look at HQCo. Like they're huge and their sales aren't very high. Like they're constantly running at a deficit. They just got acquired, they didn't get acquired by Tilray, but they have some like big partnership that they just announced with Tilray, and Tilray basically bought all their debt.
Crazy.
So like some of the big name cannabis companies are like not doing so hot, and it's very evident.
So now people are just, again, you're shifting focused into more of the like, I don't know, boutique sides of bud, like terpenes and stuff like that.
That's kind of what it should be, though, no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like quality. Yeah, it kind of like needs to be oversaturated to like point out that like the people focusing on these things, provide a better product. At the end of the day, I'm sure. Yeah, it kind of like the,
something I haven't
rise.
Yeah, something I haven't tried yet is I believe it's called maybe Camo. So either caramel or caramel cannabis.
Okay.
It's like an orange packaging. I haven't tried them out yet, but like it's right now everyone's saying amazing things about them.
So it's just
they're small batch.
It's like a flower.
Yeah.
So will you find small batch stuff in dispensaries around here?
Yes, in the OCS, yes.
Do the dispensaries like that you see around town have just free reign what they can stock their shelves with?
So they got to order. They got to order. Yeah, everything from the OCS.
Yeah,
right now.
but anything
that is hopefully changing by the end of this year. So you can. There's already some amendments going through that you can order directly from the processor. As it's still OCS still makes their whatever off the top, whatever their fee is.
Yeah.
but you can go directly to them instead of having to go down the line.
But now, like, as a dispensary, you can go pick whatever products you want from the OCS catalog.
Pretty much.
I always found, maybe I don't, maybe it's just because I go to the same ones, that, like, still dispensaries, like, have the majority of the same product because it's still just the biggest guys at the top.
Yeah, exactly. It's what's selling, right?
So the biggest thing would be having, like, I mean, if you can go and convince, is it the same? Does it go the same way? Is it the same industry as far as like pharmaceuticals, like
people lobbying brands and everything else and reps going around? Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, kind of like you got to build a relationship some way, whether it's the bigger brands kind of like doing that, or it's you, some micro batch guy that, you know, is going wholeheartedly and kind of saying like, you know, these are the benefits to my, there's going to be that guy who's super genuine, and then there's going to be some asshole just sends like, you know, every product to the guy's front door. And that's
so for me, it's like especially getting off the ground and showing that I have the interest. It's getting the letters of intent, and it's just a very, very vague contract saying like, hey, if you produce this product like flower at roughly this range of like THC, CBD, terpenes, we would purchase it for like this range of price. Like it's very, very loose contract, and it just kind of like gets your foot in the door with investors and everything else.
The relationships there between you. I know a guy that owns a dispensary that I don't know if that's any but value to you, but it might be add a letter of intent.
That's like, all I keep doing is I try to add as many to the roster as I can, and then when I'm ready to pull the trigger, I'm ready to pull the trigger. Right now for me, it's not so much about capitalizing on getting my grow going. That's always going to be a thing. As soon as there's a great opportunity for me to hit submit and go, I'm going to do it. I'm waiting for that opportunity to come because I know it's going to come, but I know it's not today and it's not tomorrow, and it might not be over the next couple weeks or months, but it's coming.
So if there was one person or relationship or service via a relationship at the expo, it was like, I'm only going there to talk to one person to get one, again, product, relationship, or service that you need, kind of like, what would it be?
Who would I go to? Athena. They're a nutrient
and that's
company,
the biggest hole in your system kind of thing, or like they provide the most value?
I like what they're doing, and I like the fact that you can put their solution in something and there would be no clogging of your irrigation lines or anything else. So this kind of date back to where I'm at in the cannabis industry right now. I'm working on a project. I'm not really talking about it on social media too much, but the project I'm working on really, really relies on having a lot of consistency with everything that happens.
Okay, yeah.
So their product paired with what I'm doing it's yes.
And there's just not that much else in there type thing. They kind of do one of a kind as far as being efficient at what they do.
They're doing very, very well at what they're doing right now. And to see the mixability of like this product, it's like going back to like supplements. Like when you see the mixability of like certain proteins and everything else, it's like there's no contest between some like proteins and others, right? It's the same thing with these nutrients.
Cool.
So
you're gonna do that? You're gonna like?
I'm going up to that booth and I'm talking their ear off.
Right?
Yeah.
Are they Canadian?
No, they're from the States.
So this might be one of the bigger, like, if is it obviously everyone from the States is coming to that.
Yeah, they had the Seedsman there too last year.
That was when isn't the show? I think we were there. Isn't the
Metro
show
Toronto Convention Center
usually that weekend? It's usually the same weekend or that week, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, I remember being at the Toronto show and it being the next door over or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's not. Well, that show is probably not even that show anymore, is it? There's no show
it's
that
way bigger now. So now you know where how Toronto Pro has like all of the expo center.
Yeah,
it's that same expo center filled with all the vendors from the cannabis industry.
Oh, cool.
So
when's that? Like a Thursday to Sunday? Or
it's Thursday to Sunday. So I'm going from like Thursday to Saturday.
Stay down there.
Yeah, I got a room at the Intercontinental.
Nice. That's next weekend.
There. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
Is there anything that you bring of your brand or anything like that?
Clothing,
like,
merch.
Just leave it, yeah.
Just like wearing it around and trying to promote like just myself right now because I look at it the same way like as fitness. Like you're selling yourself at the end of the day, right? You're not like I'm not marketing a product right now. I'm marketing me.
Yeah.
Like what do I bring to the table, right? So I go there and I try to become what I can, right? I'm trying to grow my way throughout the industry and like make a statement. I'm not saying I want to be the next Snoop Dogg or Seth Rogen per se, but like I want to have the like when you hear my name, it's like, oh, he does this in the cannabis industry and he does it well. Like you're known for being good at what you do.
How long ago did you start that? Like what Tonycangrow?
So again, this came from Think and Grow Rich.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I thought it was punny.
Yeah.
Because of the growing.
Yeah.
So that's why I rolled with it, because it's like I can still grow muscle, I can still grow weed, I can grow anything, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's where the Tonycangrow came from me. But I've made the podcast a little more like weed themed, because it's like I want to sit, smoke, and like chill.
But like is that basically that's what you'll be wearing on your shirt and shit like that?
The license to grow apparel. Yeah.
License to grow. Okay, yeah.
Because that's the series that I'm rolling out on YouTube right now.
Nice. Okay, YouTube. Do you do a lot? So what?
I'm getting into it now because I don't want to say I missed the bus on it, but I definitely didn't get into YouTube when I should have, because I find myself to be a little more creative at points in time, and like I feel like if I would have got on YouTube sooner and I would have started editing videos sooner, I would have been a lot further than I am now. But I actually enjoy it. Oh, no way.
No, so now it should.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. But I find that like I actually enjoy like editing videos and like kind of like doing my own content when it comes to like cannabis. Yeah. So like I'm going through with it.
How long has it been YouTube then? Like it just kind of casually for? Just
about a year now. I think I put out a couple videos for like Adapted as like promos, just to like use the URL to like host it on different things. And now it's to the point where it's like I'm regularly like editing videos, uploading YouTube, trying to get
separate
something
again from any like a podcast. Like there's specific.
I host I host my show on there, and then I host stuff for Adapted. I host stuff for the Kangaroo Coach, any of the like the other stuff I work with. So it's not like I'm not Tonycangrow on YouTube. I have a Tonycangrow account that I don't even use to like. I'm going to try and build that over time, but I have my Adapted Online Media that falls under what I'm doing now. So I got rid of like Adapted Physiques Incorporated used to be the name of my corporation. I now changed it to Adapted Industries Corp, because I do side jobs for a bunch of different things. I'm getting my hands in a bunch of different places, so just for small things. And it's like, I'm going to have something that houses all of that. So now it's Adapted Industries Corp, and it falls onto our brands of Adapted Physiques, Adapted Online Media, Protocol 3 Cultivation, so on and so forth, right?
Nice.
And like I wanted to try my hand at like a few different things, because like just because I'm good, I did well with fitness, doesn't mean I'm going to do well with everything, right?
So what's ahead of in your so big picture is like is weed marijuana industry and like cultivating and everything like that. That's the big picture.
It's not the big picture
as far as like Adapted Physique.
As far as Adapted Physiques, I'm going to scale it as far as it can go. Yeah. With the Adapted Online Media, I'm going to scale it as far as I can go. Yeah. Everything I do, I want to see what can I do with this. Like how far can I get?
Do you have more passion in coaching competitive athletes or like perfecting your cultivation methods and stuff like that?
I mean, I think I'm always going to do both. Yeah. And I'm always going to have like one foot in fitness and one foot in cannabis. And I feel like there's still places I'm going to go that like I'm learning valuable skills, like no matter what I do in business, that I want to eventually take on some more brands and like help people get them up and like work with startups just because like I enjoy doing all this stuff. Like I get a kick out of doing this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So like even through the pandemic, like I was following different trends of like what was trending, what wasn't, and microgreens was actually something that was like getting big in the States at one point. So I wanted to try my hand at it here. And I said, to my buddy Matt, he was like looking at different like startup things and everything else. I know you had Spina on your podcast not long ago. Matt's the VP. Matt's the chef. Okay, cool. So he's my buddy. And he's like, well, come down to Live Fit, put up like a grow 10 and like
figure it out.
Grow like let's try and grow some microgreens, see if we can like send off samples or anything else, see if there's anything that goes with it. So it was like another like little pilot project. Yeah. Like, hey, if we can do this, and I looked at it as, hey, if I can do this and this works, I can set up a couple C cans that I can thereafter retrofit for my grow and get them started, so right? So I'm like, this might be a puzzle piece to like mesh in to get where I want to be.
More opportunities,
it didn't end up taking off though. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, it's a learning lesson.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
not everything's going to.
No, not everything does, and it was just like something I wanted to throw a little bit of money into and see like if it popped or not.
Nice. Like, gaming, did you stream much there?
Oh my god. That's the thing. I don't like streaming.
A lot.
I don't like streaming.
But you like gaming?
I love playing Warzone. I could play Warzone competitively, but I just don't enjoy streaming.
But you did just via COVID for COVID. 'Cause
Yeah.
Was COVID.
Some of my buddies were like, dude, you have like 40 something people watching you. I'm like, yeah, it's nothing. And they're like, no, man, that's really good
That's
considering you just started. I'm like,
but why? It's too.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy to sit there and have a conversation with you while I'm gaming.
We're saying that because comparing it probably to podcasting or something like that. But yeah, that's like you're an entertainer. You're on. You got to like react. It's not like. Or I mean, you do whatever your style is, but
like when I'm gaming, I'm in the zone. I want to win.
Yeah. So
like,
you don't really stream too much or like game.
I'll throw it on. Sometimes I'll record clips for like content, but like I don't stream too much anymore. Like I did it for a little bit, and like again, these are things I want to do, but it's like how many places can you be at once?
Yeah, for sure. You
and how much
eventually cut out the fat, basically.
It's like it's fun to do it, but at the same time, it's like what response am I getting out of it? I mean, like if I really dialed down and it's like I made that my thing and I wanted to be successful with that, could I do it? But would I feel fulfilled after?
Yeah, you're gonna
I don't think
do
so,
other things,
right?
Yeah.
Like there's too many things I want to do, so it's like I don't want to spread myself too thin either, right?
Yeah.
I have ADHD 100%. Like I get bored doing something, I want to try something
for sure,
else.
especially, and then it makes it even that much harder if you're not actually enjoying it or getting some sort of satisfaction out of it.
Like I still play Warzone like 3-4 days a week. Yeah. I'll play like some days it'll be like I'll hop around for like one round of like Rebirth. Some days it'll be 3. Some days I'll get carried away and play 2 hours worth of Warzone. But that's like funny. Yeah, I do what I enjoy and that's about it. You game?
No, I don't. I honestly I did. No, I don't. Not for any particular reason. I think I would enjoy it. It's just like one of those things. In the last 5, I guess, to 7 years of my life, I haven't been able to justify the time enough. You know, like my interest in it versus like how much I have to justify it to myself to like. I keep saying like it'd be something I'd get here now to like fuck around and play with here, but no, I couldn't justify the time. Only that I liked it when I was a kid and stuff like that. I was all Call of Duty, everything and stuff like that. I just it'd be hard now.
So I went and bought a PS5 next gen console, and the only game I play is Warzone.
Really?
The free game.
That's what comes with it.
The free game.
That's hilarious.
Is the only game I play. I spent all this money on a new console, and it's like
I know that's what I was debating doing up here, but then it's like, nah.
I'm like tempted to flip it.
Probably could for like, depending on how much you bought it for.
Like I got it from the source. I actually, you know what I did? When everyone was waiting for the drops to buy them, like there was like 3 or 4 times I went by and I was like, I'm not getting it. I'm just gonna wait till it hits stores.
Yeah. One
of my old clients called me up. She's like, I have one in my cart. My boyfriend surprised me with one last night. Do you want it? I was like, yeah. Sure. She's like, which I've never given my credit card information over the phone so quickly in my life before.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you never know. Then you probably can. I don't know what the status of those now are, but
I got it at cost of like what it's supposed to be from the source, and
might be able to make some money on it.
I could turn around and sell it for like $1,200 right now.
That's hilarious. It's still like that ridiculous.
Yeah, it's still that ridiculous. I can't believe it. Crazy. I thought by now it'd be in store and they'd have everything ironed out, but apparently you still can't buy PS5s.
Crazy. Well, there you go.
I had a guy at work offer me $1,300 the other day.
You should have taken it.
I just play Warzone too often.
Yeah,
it's
true.
like I still enjoy Warzone.
It's not worth selling it yet.
But what my buddy said, he's like, you can play Warzone on PS4, but I'm like, it's not as responsive on the internet though.
I don't know if that would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what else you got going on? Anything else?
I think I covered everything I'm working on for Cannabis, who I'm working with.
Any random stuff?
Just I went back to HD.
Nice, yeah.
Just like getting back into like more fitness content. Because for a while I was just like, I'm done on social media. It's like, it's time to grow up. Yeah. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm like, I'll post here and there and like, I'll do my grow content. Like I need to have like a presence to like scale in the cannabis industry. Yeah, so I felt like I was just going to stay there and like just slowly have a highlight reel.
Yeah.
But being as everything kind of is driven off of social media now, if I don't have people hired to do what I'm doing right now, it's like
someone's got to.
Someone's got to.
For sure.
And as we slowed down, like we were doing really well pre-pandemic. The first like 6 to 8 months in the pandemic, like I was still making like really good money.
Yeah.
And then the second year of the pandemic, we just hit like an all-time low.
Yeah.
And like I was making money doing other things, but it was like adapted, slow down, and now that adapted's starting to go back up again, it's like I want to keep that trend going to the point where like I'm turning people away. I'm saying no right now, even though I don't want to. It's just because it's like once this app is complete, and it's just like, I mean, it's never going to be complete, but once I get it to a point where it's just like I'm just adding my updates every week or every
month, you can
month,
really start going scaling.
Yeah, and then I can start doing other things.
Do you go to Pure much?
No, they just had another like open house. It's just it's for me to go out to Burlington and everything else right now.
Jade goes a little bit. I go like every now and then. I don't. Again, I'm a little less. I appreciate it as a fellow gym owner, you know. Going there to get a little depressed at everything I don't have. But.
Yeah. It's definitely nice to go. It's just I can't justify the drive most of the time.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, most of the time it's like if I'm there, but
if there's something going on, like once I get like shredded again, it's like to go film some content, do some other stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go head down.
Yeah.
But like for right now, I'm in the middle of things. I'm kind of in that like that weird awkward stage in between where you're like you're getting strong again, your lifts are going good, but you're not lean yet.
Yeah, you're just trying to get in habits.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get everything like solid again and go from there. Because like my thing was like I wrote a schedule up for myself. I'm like May 2nd, I either like my days that I don't lift, I'm doing cardio those mornings, or I do my resistance training in the morning, and then PM after construction, I'm going to either Muay Thai or Jits.
Yeah,
and I haven't been able to hit that yet, but my goal is as soon as I get this stuff figured out with my back.
Do you do much boxing kind of stuff, or usually?
I do a lot of drills like right now at home on my own.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing drills like pretty much the whole pandemic.
Yeah, I've started just in the last couple of years doing it, and like I don't like just at adrenaline and shit like that, and
that's where I'm gonna be going for Jits.
Yeah, it's cool. He's awesome. Like I know we know a couple guys down there, and it's for me, it's never been necessarily like a combat thing. It's like never having done any kind of like mixed martial arts or combat in my life as a kid or ever. It was definitely like a learning curve, and it's been just as interesting learning it as the whole cardio aspect of it. But I mean, like I would be terrified to go to the next step as far as like doing any kind of like rolling sport or anything like that, just to like instantly fucking tweak my neck.
Grappling,
no, it's
still
safer
fun.
than you think.
I wouldn't get into tournaments. I wouldn't get into going hard, rolling all the time. Like I want to do this to like feel good, to stay sharp, because they say jiu-jitsu is like the thinking man sport, right? You're playing chess all the time. So like for me, I want to do it to like keep me sharp, keep me in shape, keep me like limber through like aging and everything else. I definitely don't want to take it to that next level and be competitive, because I know that's when I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Especially
but the biggest thing is you're trying to avoid that getting up to that point, just like making it a part of your life.
And that's what it is, right? And for the whole like, I get like not being like completely into combat sports, but like it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener
for sure.
at war, right?
That's been like the biggest, and like that's come secondhand of like gaining this gaining that just different knowledge of like again, it sounds silly to defend yourself, but like just knowing
and it's
different tools,
and it's not even that, like really knowing what your body is, I don't want to say capable of, but like knowing how to use your body
for sure
completely.
Yeah, and that's the whole learning aspect of it, and like just the whole different than any kind of sport, you know. And again, since I never did it growing up, it's one of those things. It's like golf for me is like, I'm not a typical golfer by any means or anything like that, but I golfed all growing up, like, you know, from when I was super young to basically time I moved out, I came to London, and like picking it back up later, you have this like second nature at golfing. I'm assuming it's probably the same way with any kind of like combat sports, but it'd be like
I'm gonna be super rusty going back. I know that.
It'd be like what for golf or
no for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but still, there's that like it's different than someone picking it up and having starting from square one in their like middle of their life. I'd think I'm slowly starting to do stretches now. Maybe I should have did more, but because I know what's coming my way. Because that's the thing. I already have experience. So I have an idea of what I'm getting myself into. Like, I already know it's gonna suck, and I know getting back on the mats again and not being as quick, and like these people have been training their whole lives. It's like it's. I know what I'm getting myself into. Yeah. Nice.
So,
anything else?
Not really. I'm just kind of like focusing on the business, scaling. I plan on keep working for the same contractor now that I'm working for. I don't plan on leaving unless I leave London.
Yeah, no, why would you? Let's fix what's not broken.
Yeah, right. And other than that, just kind of like living at this point.
Nice. Well, fuck. Then when when you hit some like milestones or next checkpoints in any of them, really, we'll have to come back. Or
100%.
You'll come back when I'm smoking my first joint of my outdoor stuff that I grow this summer.
I gotta come back down. Like how many episodes are you in now? Like 20 something?
Yeah, this might be 24.
Oh, okay. Because I seen you upload something the other night, so I'm like, I want to see who's gone on the show so far. So I was looking through. I was surprised to see Spina's name on there.
Yeah,
too.
he's a good friend. Like, and I just saw him, and like me and him go way back. Like,
I only know him through Matt.
Oh, really? When I first moved to London, first moved to London, Nick was doing something, who knows. Actually, so he had
a bar, didn't he?
Yeah, but even before that, he had a supplement, you know, the Visalis.
Yeah,
those companies that are like
the multi-level marketing.
So the first time I ever met him, he was like, we're early 20s each of us, and I was sitting at his house, and he was like pitching me that thing, right? Way. Like he was like that too, and again, that was my very first memory of like some of the very first people I met in London, and then we've obviously just kind of like crossed paths continuously since then and everything. But yeah, it's been like just I had no expectations, so I was like, let me just like pull on the people around me closest and like come on and have even you, right? Like it's just like, you know,
I got random messages like, hey man, you want to come on a podcast? I was like, yeah, sure.
And I have a huge list of just like friends, because like even the stuff, like everyone does something, and if they don't do something, then just their conversation is something, and like having no expectations here, it's like I don't have to like feel obligated to like even compare guests. Like it even sounds insulting saying like bring someone with some sort of like reason or expertise. It's like that's not the point. So it's been easy for me to continuously go, and like we started in January, so it's been a couple months now.
Still good.
And it's super easy. Like I have no excuses, right? This isn't my house. It's kind of a little bit of a draw for people to just come and do whatever.
That's nice though too, because like I have my setup in my office right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wish it was like, it's like I wish I had some other space that I went to that I could like go at any point in time and do it.
Yeah,
but
like this.
Yeah. Because I know when you even offered at first, like, hey, like, do you want to do maybe some shows here?
Yeah.
I could throw my logo up right there and do them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for me right now, it's scheduling though, and that's what it's like. I like it in my office because it's like I can just kind of jump. I was planning on doing some like solo episodes, but at the same time, it's just like I don't have time right now.
Yeah, that's like, well, you know,
you can only do so many projects at once, right?
Yeah. Whenever this kind of gets up and gets going, like as far as like literally the uploading and editing process for this is like
super simple.
Couldn't be easier.
Yeah.
So there's no like, and even what we were saying, like I just toss these up. I'm kind of just waiting for someone to have some sort of like run into someone that has any expertise in like setting up lighting and shit to like, hey, no, this is all wrong. And then
Kofi.
Like, yeah.
You should have him on.
I am, but like the last conversation I did, it's like, I'm in thing for 3 weeks, thing for 3 weeks, thing for 3 weeks, and then I have something in London. So I think he is like all those guys. Like again, I have a list of probably 100 names. That's just like my 10 closest friends, 10 whatever. So
he's everywhere right now too.
I know. I talked to him not that long ago, and I was like, hey, when do you want to come down? Because I actually double dipped with him. I was like, I want you to come do a thing for the gym, and then in turn, like do a little podcast upstairs. So he'll be. I'm sure. Actually, I'm sure you'll.
I'll say something to him too. I'll be like, yeah. I was just with him 2
or even come on,
ago.
Right? Like if he comes, like, we should do a 4 to get someone else, and like
Yeah, man, I'm always down, especially because I'm so close to here too.
Are you?
Yeah. And that's the thing now, like summertime's out, it's like I'm out and being social again.
We're doing a thing, so he was just here before. I'm putting in a garage door, a big glass door right here.
Oh, no way.
And it goes onto the roof of the personal training side where we are, other side of the gym.
Yeah.
So on the other side of this wall, it's just a flat, like a roof. So we're putting a garage door in there, like a big, 6-8 foot long garage door, basically from there to like one of the lines. It's going to be fold down glass and patio outside and shit.
That's sweet.
That would be sweet.
You guys have done a lot with this space though.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like this
slowly
is like,
but surely. And then,
I remember when I first came here because I was going to rent space. Yeah. And
I don't even know when.
Speaking of which, before I leave, I should probably give you your key back.
You still have that? I don't even have that door.
Oh, really?
It's all keypad now.
Yeah. I
that
still have
door's
that
long
key.
gone. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's still on my keychain, like right now.
You can toss it. It doesn't.
Okay.
Or keep it.
Well, that's why I seen Nick not long ago. I'm like, hey man, do you want to take this tea in for me? He's like, oh, just come by the gym. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll make it by eventually.
I punched in. It's like all punch. Number lock now.
Because that's another thing. I came to London, and after I was like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to keep doing construction anymore. It's a new city. I'm going to do PT here. And then it was like, I do so well with online coaching. It's like to be somewhere and place myself. It's like I put out feelers, and it was only like 2 or 3 people that wanted to.
When was that? Like even 3? Like
that was right before the pandemic started.
Was it? Okay. So like, did we have both sides tied together?
You were just finished. You
probably
starting.
haven't even seen then. Other than probably pictures and stuff, the whole like.
Well, I just walked through.
Did you right now?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you'd see that like all that was basically.
Because I remember the one night I came here to film content, and
but there was no rubber, there was no turf or anything like that.
The turf was there. I put up a little thing for you guys on Instagram.
I don't know. Was the turf there for sure?
And Buddy, I had doing on video.
I remember that.
I had him doing the ropes.
You're right.
The turf was there.
I remember that. I do. I can see that video in my head.
Yeah. Because that's when I first got into like editing.
Yeah.
Because like Kofi was doing all this cool stuff, and I was like, I should do some of my own content. Like, what can I learn from you right now?
Yeah.
And then like slowly, it's like I like doing cannabis content more than anything. Like I would never get into the fitness realm with things when it comes to content, other than like doing some of my own stuff. Mm-hmm. But like the cannabis industry stuff, it's like I want to do a little more of it.
I think it's a little bit more black and white when it comes to like being someone who can be kind of like, well, know what they're perceived as someone knowing what they're talking about, right? Like you can't bullshit your way around like cannabis without knowing your shit.
Yeah, even fitness.
Yeah, but fitness you kind of can. Like,
I mean, that's the industry is.
You probably can bullshit your way through it a little more. Like even as a sponsored athlete or whatever, like cannabis, you're either like a proficient in the language of everything that goes into it, or you're like just some guy that always smokes weed that like, I like this one.
The quality of your bud, really, if you're a grower, the quality of your bud
speaks for itself.
For itself. And like even still, like I'll have bud and my friends will be like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like, it's manicured to shit though. I'm like, I don't take any pictures of it because like there's still leaves everywhere. Like half-ass trimmed it. They're like, what do you mean, man? This looks amazing. I'm like, don't post that.
That's funny. But that's perfectionist and just that whole art form in itself.
Anything, like anytime I've put any buds in my story or anything else, it's always like I'll sit there for like 10, 15 minutes and just trim it and be like, this is what I grew.
That's funny. That's what they all look like, just right out of the box.
Yeah. Well, it's still that aesthetic thing for me too. Like I really like how some of the buds turn out. Like this green crack pheno that I have right now, they just come out looking so freaking nice.
Yeah. Well, that's like, half of it. I'm sure that's a big half is look. You know, that goes just as far as everything else. That's the first thing people say. It's like this
is the first run I just did of the gelato. I don't like it.
Yeah, well,
I've had buddies look at my plants and they're like, "Those are so nice." I'm like, "That's not what I was expecting, though." Yeah.
Especially if you have a certain thing you're trying to like get.
I have a goal, right? That I'm trying. Like, I have a target that I'm trying to hit, and like, I don't care how it tests. I don't like the look of it.
Mm-hmm. So how long does it take to get all the results back and shit like that for testing? Like, is it pretty quick?
It depends where you're going. Like, you can get like the Purple Pro. I can go to the one, the Hydro store. And they'll run it through a Purple Pro in like a day.
Oh, no way.
But if I want to go and actually get it lab tested, a couple weeks.
What's the difference? Accuracy?
Accuracy. Oh, and Purple Pro won't give me a terpene profile, but if I send it away for a lab, it will.
Okay, cool.
So it's mainly just like you're waiting in line for them to get it done sort of deal. Especially if you're like, hey, like, buddy, I know you have this test. Like, I need it done. Yeah. So. Nice. I mean, it's a whole nother, like it's so much like fitness, but there's like some of the language is different, but there's so many similarities between the two of them. That's why it was such an easy.
I'm sure, honestly, like especially if you are like, you are a good. Like if you're an attentive coach and like want the best, it's just shifting focus to other things.
I actually had one of my buddies. He's like,
you're just like one big client. You just got to make perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the thing. That's
or like however many different strains or plants you have.
At one point in time, I was just so aggravated with dealing with some of the newer clientele that were in the competitions, but they were in it for the clout.
Yeah.
more so than like the actual like passion behind the
definitely.
sport. And I was just getting fed up. So I'm like, oh my God, growing weed's like just like coaching. So it's like, I'm really going to dial in on just this. And that was the thing. Like I always had a knowledge of growing, super simple, but I've never.
Like, did you like even
basic? I've always had like the basics since I was like 13.
Oh, okay. So even you'd fuck around, basically do the shit I'm
as a
doing out
kid.
back. Like you'd do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool. So it's not like random or anything.
No, it's not a new concept. But like through kind of getting, I don't want to say annoyed, but like not getting the result I wanted to out of like every single client, because it's obviously not every single person's going to be the next.
Yeah, nor have the same dedication or whatever.
Yeah, right. So at least with cannabis, it didn't cheat on its diet.
Yeah. There's no.
It doesn't cheat on its diet. It doesn't miss cardio. It does. Yeah. It was never disappointing. It never disappointed me unless I did something wrong.
Yeah.
So then it was the true trial and test of like my capabilities, right? So it was like. With coaching, it's a relationship between you and your client.
Yeah.
With cannabis,
no, it
it's
makes
like,
perfect sense. Yeah.
I'm in control. It's like you're playing God at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
So
cool. Well, like I said, next time you come, you'll have to bring some. We'll hopefully be sitting on the patio.
Honest to God, I was gonna grab some before I left the house too, and I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to have to trim some buds.
Well, there's enough around here.
Yeah.
But it's always good to.
Well, still,
I always appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Normally it's a party favor. You go to someone's house, you bring them a bottle of wine. I usually like, hey man,
this is my stuff.
This is my stuff.
How many
Try it
different
out.
bags I have of like just members or whatever saying, hey, this is the stuff that I had over the summer.
Yeah,
or like whatever. Yeah.
That's the thing. Everybody grows now.
Yeah.
So that's another huge thing with the way the market's going. Like you gotta, I pay attention to certain different things, and I went as far as reaching out to the Cannabis Exchange and asking them for membership. I never ended up signing up, but I asked them for a membership to just view.
Yeah.
Like not to use the Cannabis Exchange to like sell and everything else, just to view what was on it. I just want to see what's there. I just want to be able to record data.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know like what was going on, and
For sure.
I looked at it as not only like because I'm trading a lot of cannabis stocks.
Yeah.
Like that's everyone's like I got into trading late in the game. My grandfather's been on my ass since I was like a kid. Like you got to learn how to day trade and do this, and I was never big into it. Then the pandemic happened, and everyone like got super big on it and everything else. So it's like. I wanted to stick to what I knew. So I did my research on the companies that I knew. I seen what their products were. I seen how much those products move in the industry and everything else. And I kind of tried to like make my plays off that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm still down money. But
one day
I'm learning to detach myself completely emotional from those trades too. Cause I'm like, this is like perfect. Like what they have going on is such a great thing.
And
it
then
can't
it's
be
like not, it's like fuck.
It's also how some of the companies are ran, right?
Yeah.
So like for me to learn how to be a good trader just in like my own personal like tax-free savings.
Yeah.
I had to like completely detach myself emotionally from everything. Cause I'm like, I'm losing too much money like playing on emotion.
We go on data.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all I do now. And I'm like hardly trading cause I don't have time to pay attention to the market.
Nice. So no work tomorrow?
No. I text my the contractor I'm working for, he texts me, he goes, so he's like, so are you going to be coming to work tomorrow? Do you know? He's like, just let me know soon. I'm like, well, I got tramadol from when like I got my wisdom teeth out. I'm like, I can drive if I only take one, and I can probably make it through the day if I'm just operating, but I definitely can't help out laboring.
Yeah, fuck that.
And he's like, just take tomorrow off and let me know how you're feeling. I'm like, man, like you need me for work. Yeah, it's like you need me for work. I'm there. I'm one of those guys that I never call in sick. I never really schedule time off or anything else.
It's legit.
Yeah, like when I was at HQCo, I didn't call in sick once. I went to work, like this is like pre-COVID days.
Yeah.
I went to work like literally full blown out flu. I had a bottle of Buckley's that I was sipping out of all day.
Yeah, and just keep going.
One of the supers is like, are you drinking? Because he thought my Buckley's was a flask. I'm like, no man, it's Buckley's. And he's like, why aren't you at home? I'm like, man, I don't call in sick.
Yeah.
And it was just that like, that ego too, like that being like how I was like, this is how my worth ethic is, and this is how I always have to show up. And now I'm kind of learning that, hey, like back off a little bit. Your body will like it if you, yeah.
Nice.
So I'm like working for them opposed to like working for this guy right now. Wild difference.
Yeah.
Especially like just like I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, well, I normally never took time off before. I'm like, hey, I need the 12th and the 13th off for like the lifting co. And he's like, yeah, just write it on your timesheet.
Yeah.
I'm just like, really?
That's good to have though, for sure. You know, that like just know you're not stuck if you need something like that.
Yeah.
And probably like it's something steady enough, but you know, like I said, are able to focus on different shit.
And then like that's always my plan B.
Yeah.
And then everything I make from equipment operating now is just it's basically savings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay myself with Adapted still. Everything I make just gets put back
rolled into something else. Yeah.
Rolled into something else to see how just with, like I said, with the microgreens, like I put a couple $100 into that. It's like, see if I can make it go. I have a couple other projects I'm working on right now, and it's like, let's see.
You never
like,
know. Totally.
I put a couple grand in like a couple different pots and like see what happens, right? It's the same. Like that's why people are like, "Oh, what are you investing in?" I'm like, I'm not investing in stocks anymore. Really, it's like investing in little projects that I want to see if they can thrive.
All you need to do is one to kind of take off and then see what you have and run with it, or don't, or cut it and go. I
have something I've been working on for 3 years now, that I've been back and forth with a company to like get that's going to be making the product. And I still not happy with it.
Yeah.
And it's still like it's a little project, but it has the potential to be like.
Yeah, and if it does, and that perfection is what made it
international
different, then
distribution.
you're good. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like there's little things I've been chunking at that it's like I can only afford to work at this project X amount.
Yeah,
and it's only going to yield me X amount per year anyway. So I'm only going to like chip away at it,
you got to be realistic. Otherwise, it just everything gets carried away.
Oh yeah, if I put too much in one thing and it's like I don't have enough for something else to operate, I'm kind of screwed, right?
Yeah, no.
Because like everything I've done, it's like been self-sufficient. So
nice.
And then weekends, I'm back at the bar. It's my social time.
Yeah, down in Grand Bend. Yeah. Is it everything back open now? Like, not. I mean, weather-wise, not COVID-wise. Like, is it starting to pick up now?
Tomorrow opens. Wait, tomorrow's Thursday.
This weekend?
Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah. Oh, everything opens tomorrow.
Ooh, it'll be a wild weekend down there. Like weather-wise too. I think it's supposed to be really nice.
It's supposed to be 70.
Yeah, warm. Even the second half today was like getting nice and sunny and everything out. So
this weekend's supposed to, or is it next weekend? Next weekend for Lifting Co. I was looking. It was like supposed to be 72 or something like that. I was just like,
well, we've had enough like overcast and rain the last little bit. We're due for it, but
we had 2 or 3 nights we had a day it was super sunny that one Sunday,
and it's fucking snowed,
and then it snowed, and I was like,
and then it rained, and now here we are.
I redid my grass 3 times already. I've reseeded spots that needed to come in, and then it snows. I'm just like,
well, that's kind of like
stop seeding my grass so it stops snowing.
Well, that's kind of been my like train of thought for like outdoor. It's like, when do you? No, it's gonna like snow again. I can't put anything, even like just flowers around the house. Like me and Tatum, we're gonna do some flower beds out back or flower pots out back. It's like, even if we would have planted any kind of flower, it would have been dead. You know, but it's probably a little early for it anyways. But
I mean, like now starting to be the time for it, especially as we start seeing these warmer days. But I still want to take a trip. Were you going anywhere soon or?
No, not like any. We got like a Montreal thing, cottages and stuff like that. But no, like really. I mean, summer's coming, but no Mexico's or anything like that.
Yeah,
I don't care. We like it. We got like June, July. We're kind of away, kind of in and out for most of it with cottages and so that's good enough for me.
I'm waiting till Christmas to head down to Florida.
Yeah,
as long as nothing crazy happens again with the world.
And then what? Just be there indefinitely, or is that too short? Plan?
It's too short.
Scope it out a little bit.
Yeah, I actually I was already looking at bidding on property there.
Nice.
So it was like a small couple acres of land, and it was just agriculture land. Oh, I want to see if I can get it.
Yeah, for sure.
I can store some stuff on there, do whatever, put a camper up there, and just have somewhere to store shit in Florida.
Case, sell it,
yeah, right. Just flip a little bit of property. So there was some tax sales, and this place was like the lowest bid was like $5,000. So I was like, all right, like if we get, I'm not gonna get it, but like only put like $4 or $5 down and see if you can.
You never know. Nobody else bids on it, right? Like you gotta if you don't ever shoot, you never make it.
Exactly, right?
So, like, who knows?
You miss what is it? You miss 100% of the shots you never take, or whatever it is. So
that's like unrealistic. Even home. When I look at stuff, it's like you got to look at stuff out of your range, or even just you never know what's gonna happen. But
no, and unless it's real estate right now, everyone's out going like $400,000 over asking.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, even that, So, okay, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. We'll do this again once. Hopefully, we got a patio out there.
Yeah, for sure. We've it's 9:00, and I'm gonna go sit in the yard for the next 4 hours.
Oh yeah, you'll have to follow up and let me know.
Oh yeah, man.